Throughout history, conflicts have blossomed into fine examples of tactical genius and military might. Some of these engagements, however, have resulted in fantastic blunders.
It is our objective to rank and judge these disasters and determine which, in fact, are the most disastrous.
War of the Bucket. A bucket, a pope, two clashing sides amounted to a battle over the control of a well. Now, don't get me wrong. A bucket that is crowned king of Bologna is worthy of war, but is it really? This war over a drinking cup definitely belongs in the lower tier of human innovation triumph, really, because it was really only one battle over a cup.
And it was essentially a draw.
Yeah, like a siege for 3 days really isn't that good. You understand? So
This list will blow you away.
it really will. So we're gonna have to rate it a D tier, I think, right?
Son, nah, give me 100 days to save my empire. That's what Napoleon would have said if he saw the disgrace that is the Napoleon movie. The hell was that? Anyway, going up against practically the entirety of Europe was never a good idea, except if you're British. Now, how idiotic was Napoleon in trying to savagely sue for peace and keep his throne? I don't know. Ask Joaquin Phoenix. Either way, Elba was a much better place than Waterloo. He should have just put his reign on red instead of fighting everyone. D. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know.
thinking D tier?
It
was a pretty stupid move, you know.
But no, this isn't the movie. Not the movie, man. He was a real person.
He was?
He was a real
What?
person. Okay.
Oh my god, bro. What?
Okay, so now, I say B tier. So,
B tier?
Hear me out. He went up against all of Europe.
Yeah. Don't you think that's a bit of an idiotic move?
But this is the master of Europe.
That
The
doesn't seem
master
like
of
a
Europe went down like a
masterful
punk.
move.
The master of Europe went down with the punk. B tier.
B tier? Yeah.
tier.
Okay. Oil, Lebensraum, Blitzkrieg. Hitler wanted all three as he tried to seize southern Russia and the Caucasus. This was the stalling of the German advance into the Soviet Union as the German Operation Case Blue did not succeed. In typical Hitler fashion, he was not strategically prepared for the Russian resilience, and a meat grinder of the whole winter of urban warfare ensued as the Battle of Stalingrad took place. The deadliest battle in all of history, and a whole German army was lost. Can you believe that?
The whole Sixth Army.
The whole Sixth Army, man. However, even though the Soviets were clearly favored due to how overextended the Germans were, it is not implausible that a German victory could have taken place if they had better strategy.
B tier.
B tier?
They were always gonna lose,
Yeah.
but
There was a chance.
it was an unmitigated disaster that could have been prevented.
And if they did that, maybe we wouldn't be here today, you know? Put in B tier, where it belongs. Enter Francisco Solano Lopez, dictator of Paraguay in the 1860s. You control a small, landlocked, tropical piece of land in an economically irrelevant part of the world. You have several neighbors that are all considerably larger than you economically and in military potential, and are in a geographically superior position than you. And you feel the need to subdue them to best survive as a country. What do you decide to do if you're him? Negotiate? Take on one at a time? You probably wouldn't start a large-scale conventional conflict against all three at the same time, would you? The war ended about as you'd expect. The conventional war on the enemy soon turned into a guerrilla war on the Paraguayan soil and the ripping part of the state. So many men died that Paraguay had to resort to polygamy in the war's aftermath to maintain their male population.
D tier.
D tier. I think because of this guy's beard It's as tight as his corset. It has to be S tier. Oh my god, yes.
No taxation without representation. What a time to be alive. Everyone knows this war, obviously, but it should have been a total British victory, correct? Now, Yankee Doodle went to town as the colonies were soon independent, following a years-long semi-guerrilla conflict. However, it must be pointed out that the Americans did have a home field advantage and French assistance. So I'm thinking C tier for this one.
C tier? I'd have to agree with that.
C tier, yeah.
Definitely. Do you love drugs? I'm sure not as much as the Chinese during the Opium Wars. Don't you just love when a foreign power creates its own drug cartel to smuggle drugs into a foreign country? I do. This importation of opium led to China prohibiting opium. In response, in Great Britain fashion, that Great Britain and France went to war to protect their drug trade and empire. God, sounds familiar to the common day, doesn't it? Whose problem? What country has that problem right now? I don't know. These wars led to mass overdoses and addictions in China. Nice. Although, I feel like the Chinese should have let these drugs in. Taxes are taxes, after all. Do we pivot and put it in B?
I think that's a good compromise.
I think that's a good compromise. We'll put it in B tier. To some people, football is life. However, following the great words of Denny Rojas, football is dead. The World Cup can break hearts, and has shown the football war lives. This war is terrible in its stupidity over its cause. Honduras and El Salvador both played each other in a series of qualifying matches to earn a spot to the World Cup. The result? Penalties on both sides. I mean, death and destruction as penalties. At the end of it all, El Salvador emerged victorious in the matches, went on to lose in the group stage of the World Cup, and they gained 300,000 immigrants as a result of this war. So did they really gain anything?
The UN prevented it from being a real
real
contender for a top tier on the list. Anyway, I think this is I think this is a C tier. I think this is.
I agree, because these old matches, man, they needed more action because they're just not good. They don't stand up to today. We'll put it in C tier. Bacon. Do you love it so much you would risk war? If there's one thing all Americans can agree on, we hate the British. Honestly, even I would go to war with them over the shooting of a pig on the San Juan Islands. The fact that a pig, a juicy, delicious pig with so much to live for, was killed over eating potatoes is enough for me to risk war. Just for the silliness involved in this potential war, and the stupidity among American leaders in San Juan who blatantly ignored Washington's commands, this is deserving of, I don't know, man.
I feel like
C tier? D tier?
I'm feeling C. It wasn't. There wasn't much to lose.
There weren't any altercations. They really just set up camp next to each other and just
there was
party.
No fighting.
Yeah.
I think this is. There was nothing to lose on either side. I think this is a C tier.
I agree.
Look at him. Look at this fine, divine specimen of a Union general. You couldn't in any way, shape, or form be a bad general, could he? Abraham, should I invade?
Please move forward.
I need to
do something.
But he's got half the amount of troops.
No,
I can't risk it.
Do something. Move forward.
Signs point to yes. No, I'm definitely not.
You're fired.
I'm gonna run against you in the 1864 presidential election. This is definitely the worst of the Union's catastrophes. I think that with that kind of numerical and positional superiority that McClellan gave up, I think this is a solid A tier. I think that this is a horrendous disaster. This should have been.
It should have been avoided by the Union generals. I agree.
Okay. Do birds exist? If they do, which they don't, Australians really don't like them.
Legit though, like, you got here this globe, like, where is Australia? It, like, legit doesn't exist. Like, legit though, like, it's nowhere.
Anyway, who would like emus? They eat crops and terrorize local civilians. The Wildlife Management Project in Western Australia by the Royal Australian Artillery in the 1930s sought to destroy these birds
Allegedly.
and make the farmers down under safe again. Well, it didn't go so well. Bullets wasted, vehicle accidents, political humiliation of local politicians only led to a few feather hats and 986 emus dead for all that hard work. Safe to say, going to war with the rightful leaders of Australia, emus will only lead to humiliation. For this, the emu war is rightfully deserving of the S tier on this list.
I totally agree.
I mean, a developed country in relatively modern history lost to a weaponless army of flightless birds. I think this is
People underestimate
this is S tier. This is
S tier. And they kept going after this. So this is how the tier list came out to be. We have a really good spread on these infamous battles in history. Thank you for watching our short little skit. Thank you.